all over the world who are trying to find out the last proof for what we are doing or not doing, but it's all there, and so we can actually understand that there are many good reasons to start something like that. And ESFAN, this is a major decision, indeed has decided and is convinced that it might be a good idea to think about it and to discuss about it, and maybe even finally agree on some sort of basic concept, which then we as ESFAN can try, also in a way to market, that is to say, to try and find public or private funding for this sort of action. And the reason why we are having had this telephone conversation with Mr. Kornbeck, of course, as well, is also the fact that we have some minor information from Brussels that there is indeed interest to listen to ESFAN, to listen to our results from Bordeaux, and to find out whether this might be an opportunity to apply for public funding, since one thing is for sure, we need some money to continue. This is a very simple, not as sophisticated, elaborated way Sonia has been doing it. From my personal point of view, indeed physical activity for various reasons is the answer for not just one future problem. I'm totally convinced that there are at least 3 major challenges in the world we all have to face right now. This is global warming, increased terrorism, and of course increased obesity. And in a way, our tool, our project, our work gives some sort of answer to all these challenges. I might sound very naive, but I'm convinced that if people do more sports, move physically and not using cars, we might also contribute a little bit to the decrease of the risk of global warming. If we are doing sport together as a social activity, of course, people get in touch with each other, talk to each other. This might even be a tiny little aspect that has to be considered when we are talking about the world not understanding each other and fighting also in terms of terrorism. And above all, as at least one of leading scientists in the world, Professor Paul Zimmet, as the Australian director of the International Diabetes Institute, has stated it, but you all know it, that strategies to increase physical activity are the most effective weapon to compete obesity. What we have been starting to think about is that it might be possible to indeed launch a European program, and just for a working title, we have designed, or we have put forward the title An Active and Healthy Europe, with the objective to gain a healthy lifestyle. This is at the moment the semantic framework of what we are interested to put forward. However, a concept like that has to be open to local and regional aspects, for example, language requirements. So when it comes to some sort of solution, we also have to take into account that this needs the opportunity to be used in all languages. The mission that could be behind this idea, and we have lots of statements in this way, could read as: at present the world is facing an obesity crisis. Increasing numbers of people are dying through heart diseases, diabetes and cancer, all related to increasing obesity levels in our children, our global populations. Only 1 in 3 persons exercise enough to reduce obesity. Nutrition is needed in many populations. The single most important contributor to mankind's health and to counteract obesity is physical activity within a healthy lifestyle. This is just some wording. We can do it in another way, but it's just the basic idea behind it. Only last evening, when I was listening to some TV program from England, I heard that in our generation there is a great risk that we ourselves as adults have a great chance to outlive our children. That is to say, we are getting older than our children due to the fact that it needs some better activity and nutrition at the younger generation, of course, as well. Why are we thinking about a project like that? One reason is very clear, that one of the crucial findings of the TAFISA questionnaire we have been operating last year was that 80% of our TAFISA member organizations apparently are, basically speaking, prepared to join a sort of global, international, European initiative or program headed, chaired by the umbrella organization, be it internationally TAFISA or on the European level ESFAN. So we understand this as a clear request to the organization to at least offer an answer to this request. And of course, this could be also seen as an additional service for our members. It would increase, of course, the visibility and reputation of the problem, of the solution, and our organizations. It might be an interesting tool to enlarge the cooperation between the European countries, not just the organizations. It's also an idea to support new European member states of the European Union in their policy to become active and healthy countries. And of course, it might be interesting tool to raise money that we don't have now, but this tool might give an opportunity to approach not just the European Commission, but also companies from the private sector to gain additional funds. The European challenge, and I'm grateful to Jorma to have included this chart, is that this promotional approach, of course, will include different levels that have to be included. And of course, we are also aware that the whole concept indeed has to need some scientific basis, and we have just selected this behavior modification strategy to let you know that indeed this is not just a spontaneous thing which we are heading for, but we would also be including, of course, experts to help us when it comes to building up and designing a professional campaign in this sector. Yesterday, during the TAFISA meeting, we have made a very crucial and important decision. As our answer on the basis of the international organization, we have been basically decided to discuss and to design and to elaborate on a new initiative which we are going to call probably Active World, Active and Healthy World. So it is not yet finished, the discussion. We are just talking about a basic idea. However, this might be a new approach and attempt to launch and start a global active world campaign. Of course, if we think in the basic and the global framework of our organization, the reason that strikes me most is that this active world concept can be easily separated and worked out also on the continental level. That's one of the explanation and reason why we are thinking Active Europe would be the European leg of this international campaign, which would help us also to include aspects, information, good ideas, practice from other part of the world. Since you all have to be aware that if you have a look at various Asian countries, they are doing a most outstanding job in this field as well. And so we should be aware that the advantage we have by being close and connected with TAFISA would also be to implement and to introduce elements, components from other parts of the world to support this initiative. So this would also include Active Europe, Active Asia, and Active Americas, due to the fact that TAFISA at present also has regional organizations in the other two continents. How would we think about an active and healthy Europe? It's just